Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really high-impact editing technique that can take your videos from pretty good to absolutely awesome. We're talking about the speed ramp, and we're going to build one from the ground up, step by step.
You've seen these everywhere, right? The super slick, professional-looking transitions that just seem to bend time, whipping from one shot to the next with this burst of energy that feels both super powerful and totally seamless. So how are they actually doing it?
Well, it's a powerful tool called a speed ramp. And it's not just about making a clip go faster. It's about controlling the acceleration and deceleration of that speed to create a fluid, really cinematic effect. And in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to build one in DaVinci Resolve. All right, let's dive right in, because before you can even think about speeding things up, you got to get your shot rock solid and steady. Honestly, this first step is the one most people skip, and it's what really separates a kind of amateurish effect from a truly professional one.
So, here's the crucial point. If you ramp up a shaky clip, all you're doing is creating this chaotic, nauseating blur. It just makes every little bump and jitter 100 times worse. But by stabilizing your shot first, you lock onto your subject and create this clean, smooth foundation that the effect can really build on.
So inside Resolve's Fusion page, the Planner Tracker is going to be your best friend for this. All you do is draw a box around your subject, let's say it's a car's taillight, you'll set the motion type to Translation, track it, and then just flip the operation mode over to Steady. That's it. Resolve software does all the heavy lifting and basically locks your virtual camera right onto that spot.
Now, once you do that, you're probably going to notice the software has to shift the frame around a bit, and that creates these little black bars on the edges. Don't worry, that's totally normal. A quick slight zoom in using the inspector panel cleans that right up, and you're left with a perfect, full, stable image.
And now for the really fun part, taking control of time itself. With our shot perfectly stable, we can dive in and build the core of the effect, crafting the actual ramp. And here's the whole philosophy behind this. We aren't just making the clip faster. That would just be a jarring jump cut. No, we're creating a smooth curve that eases the viewer into and out of the speed change, which makes it feel super intentional and graceful.
So, right on your timeline, you're going to use the retime controls to drop a speed point right where you want that acceleration to kick in. Then, you crank the speed of the next section up, and I mean way up, something dramatic, like 2,000%. But the real magic happens in the retime curve graph. By selecting that keyframe and clicking Ease, you can then drag the handles and turn that harsh, abrupt change into a beautiful, smooth S-curve.
And this is a perfect way to think about it. A sharp, angular line in your speed graph is like slamming the gas pedal to the floor. It's a jolt, right? But a gentle, gradual S-curve? That's like a performance car just smoothly accelerating through its gears. It gives the viewer a much, much better ride.
Okay, so what's really interesting about this next part is that we kind of have to trick the software to get the most professional result. We've got the speed, we've got the smoothness, but we're still missing a key ingredient for realism.
You might notice that even with a perfect curve, the high-speed part looks a little too crisp, almost a little artificial. That's because when things move fast in the real world, our eyes and our cameras see motion blur, and DaVinci Resolve doesn't automatically add this to clips that are just sped up.
The source material for this explainer puts it perfectly. It says, the reason we add the zoom is because without the zoom, the motion blur won't exist. And that right there reveals the core of this really clever workaround. To get Resolve to generate that blur, we have to give it some other kind of motion to track, and a subtle zoom is the perfect way to force it. So for your first clip, the one that's speeding up, you'll add a transform effect. You'll set a keyframe for the zoom at 1 right where the ramp starts. Then, at the very end of the clip, you set another keyframe, but this time zoomed in to about 1.4. You ease out of that first keyframe, crank the motion blur slider all the way up, and just like that, the software sees that zoom motion and applies a beautiful, natural-looking blur to the whole thing.
For the next clip, the incoming one, we just do the exact reverse. Start it a little bit zoomed out, say to 0.8, and then keyframe it to zoom back to normal size as the clip slows down. Yeah, you'll see some black bars again, but there's an easy fix for that. Just set the edge behavior to reflect. After that, ease in on the final keyframe, turn on motion blur, and bam, the two clips now blend together perfectly.
So, let's put all the pieces together and just quickly recap what makes this effect so darn powerful. It really all comes down to these three key things. Number 1, a rock-solid stabilized shot. You have to do that first. 2, a graceful S-shaped speed curve, not a jerky jump. And 3, that clever workaround using a zoom to generate realistic motion blur. If you get those 3 right, you've got the recipe for a truly pro-level speed ramp.
Because you have to remember, this is way more than just a technical trick. It's a powerful storytelling device. You can use it to create excitement, to bridge time and space, or just to add a really cool signature style to your edits. The technique itself is simple, but the creative possibilities, they're absolutely endless.